In the desert, when night falls, there is no loneliness. There is an invisible echo that accompanies every step. It is a presence born not of sound, but of its absolute absence. We are taught to fear the void, to fill silence with noise and emptiness with things. But some places do not allow this. They demand we listen not with our ears, but with the very core of our being. This is the story of one such place, the desert of eternal echoes, a landscape carved not by wind and water, but by the weight of infinity itself. They say that to walk its dunes is to walk through the memory of the world, to feel the breath of stars that died eons ago, and to hear whispers that have no source. It begins subtly. At first, you believe it is merely the wind, that timeless sculptor of sand, singing its low, mournful song. You dismiss it as the blood rushing in your own ears, a protest of the body against a silence so profound it feels like pressure. But as the sun bleeds across the horizon, painting the sky in hues of violet and ember, the true nature of the desert reveals itself. The silence deepens, becoming a canvas. And on that canvas, the echoes begin to paint. They are not sounds in the way we understand them. They are impressions, feelings given form. A faint, lingering sorrow that hangs in the air around a weathered rock. A flicker of joy that dances in the heat haze above a distant dune. A profound sense of questioning that rises with the moon, as if the sand itself is looking at the cosmos and asking, why? Ancient travelers spoke of it in hushed tones, writing of a place where the barrier between worlds grew thin. They called it the Whispering Sands, believing the voices to be those of forgotten gods or spirits of the lost. They would leave offerings, small tokens of stone and bone, not out of fear, but out of a need to participate in the conversation, to add their own small whisper to the eternal chorus. But the echoes are older than any god-man has ever named. They are the remnants of moments so powerful, they stain time itself. The silent awe of the first creature to see a meteor shower paint fire across the night sky. The quiet determination of a single blade of grass pushing its way through cracked earth after a rare rain. The final peaceful sigh of a mountain range as it eroded into dust over millions of years. This desert does not hold ghosts, it holds reverberations. It is a library of existence, and its language is silence. To traverse this place is a pilgrimage into the self. With every step, the noise of the outside world, the chatter of your own mind, begins to fade. Your worries, your ambitions, your very name, they all seem to grow distant, less important. The desert strips you down to your essence. Your solitude becomes a mirror. In its vast, unforgiving emptiness, you are forced to confront the infinity within you. You realize that the feeling of being small under the immense star-dusted sky is not frightening, but liberating. It is the relief of a single drop returning to the ocean. Days bleed into nights. You lose track of time, for time here does not march forward in a straight line. It pools and eddies. You might experience a moment that feels as if it lasts a lifetime, and then a week might pass in what feels like a single breath. The sun and moon are your only guides, their silent procession a reminder of a rhythm far grander than your own heartbeat. And you begin to understand the spirituality of nothingness. In a world obsessed with more, the desert teaches the power of less. It is a cathedral built of space and light, its doctrine written in the patterns of the wind. There is no dogma here, no scripture carved in stone. The only revelation is the one that blooms within your own quieted heart. That the universe is not empty, but pregnant with potential. That what we call nothing is simply a canvas waiting for consciousness to perceive it. It was on the 7th night, or perhaps the 10th, I cannot be sure, that the climax of this silent symphony arrived. I was sitting at the crest of a dune, the sand still warm from the departed sun. The Milky Way was a brilliant silver river overhead, so bright it seemed to have its own voice. I was no longer trying to listen for the echoes. I was no longer trying to decipher them or understand their source. I had simply surrendered. I breathed in the cool night air, and I listened. And then, it happened. The echoes were no longer outside of me. They were inside. The sorrow of the weathered rock was my own sorrow for things I had lost. The joy in the heat haze was my own forgotten laughter. The deep questioning of the sand was the very question of my own existence. There was no separation. The boundary between my consciousness and the desert's memory dissolved. I was the desert, and the desert was me. I was a grain of sand, and I was the entire star-filled sky. In that single eternal moment, I understood that loneliness is an illusion. We are never truly alone. We carry within us the echoes of everyone we have ever met, every place we have ever seen, every story that has ever been told. We are woven from the fabric of the universe itself, and its memories are our own. The voices that echo in the silence of the desert are not ghosts of the past. They are reminders of our own infinite nature. Leaving the desert is the hardest part. The return to a world of noise and distraction can feel violent, abrasive. The mundane concerns of life rush back in, and the profound clarity of the dunes begins to feel like a dream. But something has changed. You carry the desert within you. Its silence becomes a sanctuary you can retreat to in your own mind. Its vastness becomes a perspective that shrinks your problems to their proper size. You learn to hear the echoes even in the clamor of a crowded city. You find them in the quiet gaze of a stranger, in the beauty of a piece of music, in the space between your own thoughts. The Desert of Eternal Echoes teaches us that the most profound truths are not found in sermons or books, but in the vast, silent spaces we are so often afraid to enter. It asks of us only one thing: to be still, to listen, and to realize that the voice we are all searching for, the one that whispers the secrets of the universe, is, and always has been, our own.